broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. We're here during another AfterBuzz TV after show for MTV's Teen Wolf Season 5, Episode 4, Condition Terminal. I'm your host, Kristen Elizabeth Snyder. Joining me, AfterBuzz TV host Courtney Tezeno.
Hey, everyone. Keep in touch with me at Teznos on Twitter and Instagram.
And from MTV's Are You the One, Brittany Baldassari.
Hey, guys, what's up? You guys can follow me at Brittany Baldassari on all social media.
And Ryan Malaty.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. You can keep up with me at Ryan Malaty. And I'm sitting here on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, so please hop on during the live chat and talk to us.
Please.
And our special guest this evening plays Sheriff Stilinski on MTV's Teen Wolf. Please welcome Linden Ashby.
Thank you for having me.
So excited. So
Yay! We're so happy that you could join us tonight. Thank you.
Well,
I know
thank you.
You're normally very busy fighting crime, so thank you for being here.
You know, clearly I don't fight it enough, but I do my best.
So I went to Comic-Con and I talked to Jeff about your character, and I said, "What? Where's Melissa McCall on this date?" And he said, "Well, we wanted to throw a curveball at the audience and send him on a date with Natalie Martin, Lydia's mom." So the fact that he used curveball, I'm thinking that we will get to see you with Melissa McCall at some point. But we haven't gotten to see you on a date yet. What is Sheriff Stilinski's ideal date?
Oh my God.
Good question.
I don't know.
What's this date that we've never gotten to? Are we going on a picnic? It looks like dinner by the way you're dressed in that
Yeah,
suit.
I got kind of dressed up nice, didn't I?
Is it jazz night?
I think if I'm, nah, he's not a jazz guy.
are you a dancer? Where are you going?
Probably not a dancer. We're going out, we're going to go get some dinner, maybe a beer or two, cocktail, and then, you know,
Fight some crime.
fight crime and try and get lucky.
Yeah.
What does any guy do on a date?
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I was watching an interview with you, and they asked if you renamed the show, what would you call it? And you said Harry High School Bite Town.
Oh, I love that.
Are you still sticking with that?
I'll stand by that. I will.
Well,
brilliant.
tonight we get a look at Lydia, kind of, and Parrish's storyline, and I feel like Parrish has really become sort of a son to you, and you're almost protecting him at this point. And at AfterBuzz, we kind of aren't sure if Parrish is going to be a good guy or a bad guy. And how will Sheriff Stilinski deal with the fact that one of his deputies could be bordering moral ground?
I think that it's becoming increasingly difficult for me to blur that line anymore. I think that you know, I'm like, no, you know, we've done it enough, and I can't do it anymore. And I think that if someone's bad, if Parrish is a bad guy, then if he breaks the law, I'll do my best to arrest him or bring him to justice, whatever that means.
I think we're definitely going to see that on the show, because obviously your character is like the very moral, this is the law, this is the way it is kind of guy, and then we have these other characters who want to protect the town from really knowing what's going on and all these supernatural creatures. How do you guys feel about that? If you're in his shoes, how do you not tell them to protect them? What do you do?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't be telling the town.
No. That would put everybody in a frenzy.
No, that would not be protecting anybody.
No.
Yeah, you'll bring him into chaos, and I loved this episode. I loved what you did, Linden, with your character. How I could see the struggle in your eyes when you're looking at Tracy sitting there, and you're like, you know, we got to report this. This is a crime, and you know that there's this balance between law and order, and you're trying to find the responsibility to maintain both of them. But sometimes you can't really follow the letter of the law and the spirit of the law at the same time. Sometimes you kind of have to bend the rules Otherwise, everything falls into chaos.
Yeah, when the supernatural is involved, you can't. You just can't.
I know, but anything, if you bend it enough, it breaks. And it's just we're kind of getting. I'm getting to that point where I'm asking those questions. When is too much? What do you? And it is my responsibility. And it's a tightrope, that you got to walk.
And this is kind of an early prediction, but I feel like you are definitely going to reach that point next episode. If Stiles has been kidnapped and is probably going to be hurt, I mean, that's going to be some emotionally driven decisions that I think we're going to see next episode.
Is Sheriff Stilinski at all threatened by Donovan? Because it seemed like you were not fazed by this guy.
There's a story there that we will find out a little bit more about.
Okay.
And I want good things for Donovan.
I think that's obvious to all of us.
And Donovan's his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
As most of us are.
Yeah.
Are you threatened by Theo at all? What do you think he's going to be doing this season?
Not yet, but clearly he's a rotten bastard. Yeah.
If you guys have
I'm glad
a question,
I'm not his dad.
Right?
Yeah.
Whip him into
Well, I
shape.
don't know. Honestly,
Or his fake dad.
if you were his dad, he probably wouldn't be in this position because I feel like, honestly, if
I would
Theo,
take the hammers out of the house. There'd be no hammers allowed.
well, raised by you, how could you turn out that way, right? I mean, you're just
Exactly.
such a great dad on the show.
Well, thank you.
I feel like Theo, and we talked to Jeff Davis about this at Comic-Con, which we're going to throw to a clip in just a second, and I talked to Cody Christian, who plays Theo in the show, and he said, he does sort of just want to be accepted and have his own pack, and it seems like he's going after Scott's pack.
Yeah.
And really, but I just feel like this is just a huge miscommunication, and all he really wants is for Scott to show him what it feels like to be loved and taken care of, right?
No, Kristen.
No, it is.
Poor little Cody.
He's just a lone wolf without a pack, and he just wants to feel that love of a pack behind him, the anchor, which would be his team behind him. He doesn't know how to be his own anchor yet.
So it sounds like he wants to be his best friend because he's trying to come after Stiles, his spot.
he's
so.
trying to cause the rift, and Jeff said in episode 5 that's going to happen. So let's go ahead and throw to our interview with Jeff Davis at Comic-Con.
Ooh, this is a nice treat.
All right.
So what was your inspiration this year to do the Dread Doctors?
We knew that we wanted to do a kind of science and supernatural mixing season where we got into experiments, our kind of Island of Dr. Moreau season. So that's partially where it came from. And also, I love the whole steampunk aesthetic. The design is so gorgeous, and that was a heavy inspiration as well.
In the opening scene of the first episode, we see Lydia sort of as like a street fighter, and she's got these amazing skills.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to see her develop that in Part A?
You will see a little bit of it in part A. There is a moment where she decides, I need to learn how to protect myself. I need to learn how to be a fighter. So we see more of it along the way. It's definitely progression.
As far as Parrish's character goes, it seems like he could turn into something maybe evil instead of good, which is a lot of mystery around the season.
He's definitely on the sort of moral border, the border of right and wrong. So you'll have to see. Yeah.
Was there any surprises this season so far in filming?
In filming, actually how smoothly it went. This was one of our easiest seasons to film, partially because we were able to have more scripts done up front. It was surprising. The actors always surprise me with their performances. One thing that was a nice surprise was seeing just how well Cody Christian fit in with the others. I'm so proud of him, and so proud of the cast for accepting him. It's an unusual thing, so it's nice.
You got one more question. Is the Dread Doctors the big bad in A, or is there another bad like Theo who could be the big bad?
Well, you'll have to see if they're working together or not. But I would say the Dread Doctors are definitely the main villains in A.
Thanks so much, Jeff.
Nice.
on. Love that.
So that was just a small clip of all the interviews we did. That interview actually goes on about 9 minutes, and we have Tyler Posey's interview. He actually eats my microphone. And then we have Cody Christian, who plays Theo, telling us a little bit more about his character. So I want to talk about, he touched on Lydia's character and how something happens that causes her to want to learn how to protect herself. So we get to see that. You know, she gets her, and then she asks Parrish if he can teach her jujitsu. So I guess that sort of explains her badass Street Fighter moves.
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought that it could have been a better movie playing, you know, a better martial arts movie playing in the background there.
Oh, God.
Mortal Kombat. I mean, maybe she should really be going to Sheriff
That would have
Stilinski.
been great.
That would have been.
For those of
Johnny
you who
Cage
don't
action.
know, Linden Ashby played Johnny Cage in 1995's Mortal Kombat, which is everybody's favorite.
Finish him. I love that. That like made my childhood, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, that was a fun one.
So Jeff didn't really tell me any surprises in filming, but you sort of giggled about that. Were there any surprises for you in filming this season?
Yeah, there's always surprises. Yeah, you know, I was just kind of giggling at Jeff. And how well he handles questions.
Right.
He's a slippery. He says perfect things. And,
Right.
And it's because he's really smart, probably, and that's not my forte.
A lot of the time, he would say, when people would ask him questions in the press room, he would say, well, you're gonna have to wait to find out about that, but episode 5 is where it happens. So, like, if he didn't want to give it away, he'd give you an episode number.
Yeah.
It's so good. Giving you little nuggets to look forward to.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But Tyler Posey was saying how he, now that he's a producer on the show, he wants to be like Jeff and be able to answer any question that somebody asks him.
We actually have a question that
Oh,
shouldn't,
good.
that shouldn't
Let's
be
check in
too
on the
hard to
chat.
answer. I mean, it's quite close to home for you. CC Freak wants to know, how did you enjoy doing a scene with your wife?
The old
No
ball and chain. She's great, of course. I think Susan's amazing. I think I think she's a really fine actor. I think she's a better actor than I am.
See, there
look
you
at
go.
that.
That's
I
a
hope
smart
she's
answer.
watching.
There you
No,
go.
that's a true answer. I think she's great, and you know, it's funny because when we were filming, she ran. There was a scene. She ran in, and they said, okay, go to the left of the camera this time. And there was a camera on the ground, and like when she ran through and ran past, I guess in to see Lydia, and I saw her going right, and at the last second she went, oh shit, I'm supposed to go right or left, and I saw her plant her foot. She's wearing these high-heeled shoes. She's running in this blood and just
She wiped out.
just smashes down onto the camera, and I'm like, I think I was there in about half a second, just getting her up and make sure she's okay. And she was horribly embarrassed, but for me, I mean, she hit so hard. And as an actress who's been doing this a while, she's like, damn it, all I'm thinking about is I'm gonna break the camera. Because she's coming straight down on the camera, and I'm like, screw the camera, but
Make sure you're okay.
Did you happen to tell her to break a leg right before?
I did not, but then everyone's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she goes, "Let's just go real quick. Let me use this. Let me use it." And it worked.
that's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, I thought she was really hurt actually.
She's good though.
She's
She is
fine.
good. She's
That was
fine.
amazing.
She's fine.
You should have
That's
brought
good.
away.
If you'd have said bring her, I'd have brought her.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay, we got to get her in
Yes.
here. We
Yes.
got to get her in here.
Yes.
I don't know whether to make a you swept her off her feet joke or she fell for you
Oh my
joke.
goodness,
Ryan is
Ryan.
very corny.
Ryan
It
is.
ain't easy being cheesy.
If you
the
want to call in
cheese.
and ask a question that's not corny, please give us a call at 424-256-1729. We'll be taking calls from the fans.
Yes.
For Linden. Let's go ahead and jump back to the episode. So I want to talk about Parrish, and it looks like, his relationship with the Nematon is perhaps, somebody tweeted me about this too, that maybe he needs to like feed the spirit of the Nematon by bringing them the bodies, because we saw in the next on there's sort of that who's taking the bodies, and it seems like he's taking the dead bodies of the supernatural and taking them to the Nematon. I don't know.
I thought it was kind of a community service thing.
Oh man, no.
He goes and cremates him and comes back, and
It seems like he's in like a dream state when he's doing
kind of
this,
possessed.
though.
Yeah. He's possessed.
So I feel like even if he's bordering moral ground, it's maybe not the awake Parrish, because even Lydia says, "Wait, where did you go? You drifted off for a
And
second."
then he
there."
lied and he didn't tell the whole that he
whole
saw the whole
dream.
dream.
which I thought was crazy because guys never lie to girls. Ever.
Okay.
Of course not. Of course
We
not.
never lie.
But maybe I'm like getting too far ahead. But it
Maybe look
seems
at
like
me. Never.
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 Okay.
Ever.
I'll believe you when you give us a scoop. But I was thinking that Parrish was just getting more power for some reason, and we don't
himself?
know what side that he's on. So it was really scary. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think Parrish is discovering
Right.
Yeah.
who and what he is.
There was a quote that said sometimes it's better to be the bad guy. What's your take on that? Sometimes it's better to be the bad guy.
Yeah, as an actor?
Just in the show. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? It's kind of who doesn't want to play a villain in their acting career? I mean, if you could, would you be the villain in the show, or would you maintain moral ground? You like
No,
being
not in
sheriff?
this show. Not in this show. I would probably. I think Stilinski could probably do things that he would regret later, and if you push far enough or hard enough and long enough, I think he can snap like anybody else.
Oh,
Especially when it comes to Stiles.
Absolutely.
So we have a caller
and
on the
protecting
line.
the people that he loves.
Absolutely.
Beacon Hills, yeah.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you from? Do you have a question for Linden Ashby?
What's up, guys? How are you doing today, Linden?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Kristen? How are you, Courtney? How are you, Britt? What's up, bro?
I think this is a fan of ours, Josh from
Yes,
Florida.
I love
Thanks
you.
for calling. What's your question for Linden?
Linden, first of all, you do a great job every single week. Like, I'm telling you, like, you're like the quintessential, like, father figure for, everyone on the cast. And, I just, when I look at the videos and I see you guys all interact, like, you're a really cool dude. And, I was watching Mortal Kombat yesterday on Netflix, and I was like, wow, like, it's bringing it back.
Right on.
But my question would be, what would you say considers most into your work ethic?
My work ethic?
Great question.
Yeah,
I would
what drives it the most?
I would think that for me, there's so many things that you can't control in life that all you really can control is how you do your job. And if you work hard and you prepare and you show up and you do it and you can put your head on the pillow at night and go, did the best I could, then that's it for me. And I find that people go, oh, this person's lucky, or that or whatever. And yeah, there's luck, but I've also found that the harder I work, the luckier I get. And so I'm a worker bee. I work a lot. That's me. So I don't know what contributed to my work ethic. Probably being a fuck up when I was younger, and that showed me that didn't really work.
Thanks so much for calling in, Josh. Great question, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again in the future. Thank you.
No problem, guys. Have a good one.
You too. So at the panel at Comic-Con, somebody asked Dylan O'Brien sort of along the same questions in the whole panel, and they said, look, fame is sort of a byproduct. You shouldn't be concentrating on fame. If you are, you're not doing what you love, because if you're doing what you love, your craftsmanship, and you're doing that because you just love doing it. You're making videos, or you're acting on the side in small plays or whatever. You shouldn't be focused on the fame. If you focus on the craft, that's just a byproduct that will come later.
All you can focus on is doing good work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you do that, maybe fame will come, maybe fame won't come, whatever fame is. And fame comes and goes.
Right.
And comes again and goes again. and you just want to work, and do good work, and maybe do something that what I really dig about Teen Wolf is I'll meet people and I find out how much it's touched their lives and how important it is in their life in a way bigger way than we could have ever imagined. I mean, I'll have people come up to me and talk to me about stuff that this show has done for them, what it means to them, what it sort of in really strange ways. And come on, if you can do that, if you can somehow touch somebody's life, if you can make somebody's life better in any way, shape, or form,
then you've done your job.
Bingo. You won the lottery.
Yeah. That's so great.
Yeah, a girl at the Teen Wolf panel said that Teen Wolf has helped her through a lot of tough times and taught her to be her own anchor in those tough times, and that it made her be okay. Wow. So that was really sweet. It was
that was beautiful.
Heartbreaking.
It was.
Well, we have another caller.
Yeah, do we still have a caller on the line, Marissa?
All
Caller,
right.
what's your name? Where are you from? Do you have a question for Linden Ashby?
Yes, hi.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
Natasha, I'm from Quebec, Canada.
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Hi.
Thanks for calling, Natasha. What's your question for Linden?
I wanted to know which is the creature that you found the most interesting throughout all the seasons, and if you had to become absolutely a creature, which one would you like to be?
I love that.
Nice question.
Great question.
Boy, I was my glib answer was Stiles, but I think that maybe like a mature Kanema would be incredibly interesting because I think that they grow wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
So
cool.
if I could fly around, I'd be any kind of creature that could fly around.
There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your call, Natasha from Quebec.
And I'd
Thank
have
you
a
for watching.
wicked good tail.
He would want a tail, too.
Yes. Yes.
You can't have wings
the whole
without a tail.
package. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for calling.
Thank you, Natasha.
Bye.
Bye, Natasha.
So let's get back into the episode and talk about the doctors a little bit. Now, they were saying how maybe the fact that their victims are buried is part of the incubation process, which is just very frightening and reminds me of Pet Sematary.
It's like a 100-year-old egg in China, right? You ever eat one of those?
No.
What are you doing eating eggs 100 years old?
I don't think it's actually 100 years old, but they like said they bury them and they come out and they're sort of pickled and brown and greenish and.
So that's what's happening here.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
For anyone that didn't watch.
So I'm not sure, is Donovan a Wendigo?
They kept bringing that up.
His teeth looks like a Wendigo, and then it looked like his hand was there was a Wendigo mouth on his hand.
And then
That
that's
was so cool
exactly.
at the end when they
But they brought up
Stiles.
Yeah, they kept bringing that up when they were
kidnapped Stiles,
studying. So
Maybe
I
the
feel
chat
like that was a
knows. Maybe
clue.
the chat can help us. Let us know.
Well, they brought up this chimera, creature, a combination of different species into one. And I think that might be what the Dread Doctors are doing to these people, right? Coming up with this perfect combination.
that-
We're
Yeah.
talking about DNA a lot too this episode, which I noticed. I think they're trying to make crazy out of the
Right.
ordinary creatures.
And that's why they keep saying everyone else is terminal.
Right.
So
I mean,
they just failed.
what if they
failure.
take a supernatural creature, maybe like Theo, and add to him?
But they haven't yet.
I know.
Because Theo is clearly either working with them or he is their slave. I don't know.
They let him talk to Donovan and sort of manipulate him into telling Donovan, look, if you really want to get Sheriff Stilinski back, go after somebody he loves, because physical pain is manageable and emotional pain is forever, which was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Great
And we
line.
knew he was going to go for Stiles.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
unfortunately you see that in
And I
the
got to
end.
tell you that my first scene where I had to say chimera,
I saw your tweet.
so got it wrong. I'm like, the chimeras. And they're like, no, that's not how you pronounce it. I'm like, chimera? And they're like, no. They're like, chimera. And I went, Bullshit. It's not chimera. This is chimera. And they're like, chimera maybe, but not chimera.
Oh my god.
And Dylan's like, no, dude, it's chimera. He's laughing, he's dying. He's going, really? Chimera? And I'm like, well, look at the word. It makes sense to me.
It does.
I was avoiding saying it, to tell you the truth. I was going to wait till somebody else brought it up here.
And then just go with the flow.
Chimera. I prefer that pronunciation, actually.
Yeah.
Chimera. Makes sense to me. Just like Shelley Henning said on the panel, she said, girls being badass, that just makes sense to me. And I'm like, yes, girl power. Because this show has seemed like, Jeff is really writing for the females. And Kevin Smith asked him, like, where does that come from? Do you have a girl, like, in a box somewhere? And you're like, give me answers. It was really funny.
Oh, no.
You guys have to watch our interviews. They're on AFTERBUZZ YouTube, and also we tweeted them out.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see who or what Donovan is, because they had to pull his teeth out, which was so gruesome. And I saw your tweet about going to the dentist
tomorrow.
Oh, no! Hopefully that doesn't happen.
You're like,
it makes sense though, because you got to pull teeth out in order for another one to grow.
I know, like a shark.
Oh, man. Shark Week.
Yeah.
Wait, guys, come on. So, let's talk about Tyler and Kira's kiss and how he's still goofy and makes mistakes and kind of just throws out there that he loves Kira. So, can you, Linden, tell us about maybe from a guy's perspective, maybe the first time you said to a girl that you loved her? What was that like? Was it just throwing it out there, kind of running past it like Scott did?
No, I think I was truthfully, I think I probably waited till she said it to me first.
Oh, really?
So I knew that I was safe to say it.
No, you weren't the type to wear your heart on your sleeve at all.
No. But I meant it when I said it.
Good.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, and yeah.
Do you think it's ever a mistake to say that you love somebody?
No.
Like, could it
I don't think that
they deny you.
I mean, yeah. If they reject you, I mean, or if they makes your friendship
weird,
run a little differently, yeah. Is it ever wrong?
I think that as you get older, you realize that it's never a mistake to love anybody. I think that if you attach conditions to that if I say I love you, you have to say you love me, then that's a mistake. But I think that I think that that's one of the few things that we have in life that we have an infinite supply of, and it just makes the world better.
That's so poetic.
It's so great.
I know.
It's life changing.
Well, I don't know about that, but
hashtag Stilinski love.
That's what I was gonna say. Stydia. That hashtag was going around all over the place with Stiles and Lydia when when he saw her on the ground and she was in the middle of like dying or bleeding out. That everyone's talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like his love for Lydia definitely surfaced in that moment. I mean, he's with Malia, obviously, now, and I'm sure he loves her, too, but just lots of love going around, team. Why can't he just love everyone? I mean, he clearly does. He's protected his friends just as much as Scott has. So,
yes.
Because he has such a loving father.
Well, and
that is true.
And he had a good mom, too.
Yeah,
a lot of love in this room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what is a mistake, maybe.
Before we go from love to mistakes, I just want to say I love Teen Wolf, and I love this show, especially having guests like Linden come in. I mean, I love it. And another part about this show that I really love is that it's free for anyone
to download.
To download on iTunes and YouTube and to come watch. And you know how we keep it free is we have sponsors that help support. And so we'd like to give a little message from our sponsor, Mazda. Zoom, zoom. Yeah, I actually drove here in a Mazda, so there you go.
I did too.
But yeah, does driving matter to you? Because there's over 4 million miles of road in the U.S. to find out. There's a lot of ground to cover. A lot of highways, freeways, wrong ways, long ways, and they're all out there waiting to be driven on. So do you take that left turn at Albuquerque or you just keep going? Do you wake up early Sunday morning to beat the traffic, or do you just take the long, winding road home and enjoy the scenic route with all the wolves running in the background?
He's adding that in there.
If driving matters to you, just get out there and drive. Why? Because driving matters. Thank you, Mazda.
Thank you, Mazda.
If you're
Thank
lucky,
you, Mazda.
Sheriff Stilinski will pull you over.
Driving safe matters.
So let's get into the mistakes, which is the fact that science
I always
is...
think of the Men at Work song. That's totally dating myself.
Oh, minute work song?
Yeah, what was that?
Can you sing a little bit?
It's a mistake.
I
think it was
Kristen,
Men
can
at
you
Work.
find that?
Yeah.
Men at Work, it's a mistake song. I would love to hear it. Maybe dance a little bit with Stilinski.
Yeah,
in here.
yeah. And I think
See-
the video,
see what his,
back when MTV had music videos, I think it was like an atomic bomb, and it was the whole political thing of like, whoops, oops. We started World War III. It's a mistake.
Well, I think
We
that's a
didn't
mistake
start
that the
the fire.
doctors are making. They are adding science to the supernatural and kind of changing the rules of the world in Beacon Hills. And this immediately made me think of genetically modified organisms. Like we're going through the fact that we're manufacturing organs right now in our environment. I like that Jeff has taken this science approach because it's really something that's sort of threatening to our society right now. I mean, how do you guys feel about it?
About what part of that?
The fact that, science is, do you feel threatened by the future that we're going, not only in the show, the fact that these doctors are sort of making these genetically modified organisms and like creating their own creatures, sort of
So
like...
you mean going against the grain of nature?
Exactly, and that's
okay.
what, and I feel like we're starting to do that in our society today with plastic surgery, and they're also manufacturing
GMOs.
organs and plants so that there's enough food for us all to eat. I mean, just what are your stances on it? How do you feel about it? We don't have to go into it long term, but I just like that Jeff really brings these real issues into Teen Wolf.
I do not feel threatened by medical advances. If you could grow a new organ that would help somebody, grow away. If you could grow a new arm, if I could grow a new ankle, give me
You want
one.
a new ankle?
I want one badly. I don't want to eat genetically modified food.
No.
I don't get it. I don't know why we're the only first world country in the world that allows this. I don't want to. I think that I guess that I could have answered a second ago probably better because I was thinking. I need a genetically modified brain. No, I am not afraid of the future of the future of science. I'm afraid of corporate America and their use of these breakthroughs because I think they care about making money, which I'm a stock owner, so yeah, I get it.
Right.
But there are other things that are more important. That got very convoluted, and I apologize.
We're talking capitalism, correct?
Yeah.
You made an excellent point. I mean, right down that road of there's a certain point where science can be beneficial to society, but for the right reasons.
Right.
Because once you have your intention of helping people mixed up with your intention of
Making money, it becomes a
profits,
problem.
then you start to break down that moral fabric that we're supposed to be riding along. And Jeff definitely is making a big statement here about the potential that we have to do good and evil. It all depends on our decisions with the knowledge we have. I think did they come out right?
What do the Dread Doctors want?
What do they want?
They're obviously trying to change Beacon Hills in some way. Are they trying to get the supernatural out by fighting it with these creatures that they've created? Can you talk about that at all? What do you guys
that's
think?
what I was thinking, is that they were trying to create something that was larger than the supernatural so they could take over, and it would be a more powerful society for them reigning under them. But in the scene where they're fighting and the Dread Doctors come out and Scott is there and he's actually talking to the Dread Doctors, I felt like that could have been your opportunity to attack or really, attack the head person. So now that confuses me a little in thinking that they're trying to really take over, and what are their intentions? I'm a little confused.
I'm still very confused too, because I remember in the scene where they're, Donovan was sitting there and Theo walks in and he mentions how he didn't pass his sheriff's test because he's angry, this, that, and the other thing, and how he's psychologically messed up. I feel like they're taking these people and creating them to harm the town, not help the town, I think. But then again, we don't know.
Well, we did see that Malia did some investigating in Tracy's room and found this book called The Dread Doctors. So maybe there's some answers in there.
I hope that there are answers in there, and I love that Malia is sort of, taking control of, who she is and trying to help the pack. Like she went off on her own. She left Stiles sleeping because he's just exhausted from trying to solve this, and she went to try to take matters into her own hands.
But I think it's so important to her. What I loved is that in the beginning of that episode, it was so important to her that everyone believed that she didn't do this. She did not kill this kid. Because, before, I guess, last episode, that, they're like, it's her first reaction is, hey, we should kill this person. That's her go-to. And it was really important that they believe her. And that's, did they believe her?
It's a great point.
Yeah.
So she's trying to... she's trying to make it right.
Yeah, it seems like she's trying to gather some evidence that she didn't do it and really push the pack forward. But at the same time, I feel like she's still conflicted because in the scene where she erased who is the desert wolf, I feel like she still has roots to her family, and that makes me feel like she can kind of tether both sides to me. Like, I know right now she is on the side with Scott and his pack, but there's so many times that I'm like, are you taking your mother's characteristics and are you going to be a threat at one point? Who's to know if she's actually going to tell them about the Dread Doctor book? So
that's a good point. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I know. I really love her, though. I love her.
I love Shelley. I mean, I do. I think she's amazing. She's so funny, and she's beautiful. She's funny, and she's talented.
Awesome. Yeah, I really enjoy watching her character. Let's talk about cinema and the club scene, which is amazing.
How the hell is this going on in my town? That's what I was watching. I was like, an underage,
all the go-go dancers,
bisexual,
who knows?
Anything goes. No one, everyone is drinking underage and like underage people working there. And I'm like, what the hell kind of town am I running?
We still need your help. We need you to multiply so that you can really put, this town in proper
and then I wasn't invited.
That was the main issue.
It's the two saddest words in the English language.
Wasn't invited.
No.
Was that
it? It wasn't invited.
No, that's not it.
What is it?
What party?
Oh, you're so right.
So true.
I'm still waiting for The Mistake by, what was it?
I think it's Men at Work.
Men at Work. Are we working on Men at Work with The Mistake? I'm really looking forward to dancing.
Didn't they do that I come from a land down under?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. Goodness. Yeah.
So,
or it might have been.
We can dance with 1, 2.
Yeah. No, that was Wang Chung.
Wait, was it?
I think.
Anyway, let's talk about the ships. So I'm definitely still shipping Stilinski and Melissa McCall. What do you guys feel about Brett and Mason? Is that a possible relationship? I mean, Brett was in this club.
And he saved him. Well,
yeah.
I could see that, definitely. He had a bigger heart than I thought he did.
Mm-hmm. And what about Hayden and Liam? Because it seems like she heals, so we don't know what she is. She's saving money for something. And it seems like she doesn't like Liam, but he's trying to fix whatever happened in 6th grade, and I feel like they would be good together, and he can help her, whatever she's going through.
I could see that. I didn't see it in the episode because she's so angry the whole time about her money and her job, but I could see that.
Well, I mean, think about this. She is angry. She's spiteful. And I think...
and she's underage selling alcohol.
Yes. This is Stilinski talking, not Linden.
I feel like, she might be a prime candidate for the doctors. She has animosity towards, one of the supernatural characters, Liam. So they might be building up her animosities to maybe harness it for fuel to, do the doctor's bidding.
Well,
That's my prediction.
I like that. I like that, they're still showing Scott still going to school and trying not to drop AP biology. I hope he doesn't, and it seems like
he's so bummed when he grabbed the paper. I was like, don't do it.
And so was the teacher.
Yeah.
She was bummed.
Yeah, she was disappointed.
What's funny is that after all the death and destruction and craziness, we're still like, no, don't drop AP biology.
It's his future.
Yeah, it's still like a big deal.
That's what's great about Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Is that it's still about a kid, is he going to make it in AP biology? Is he going to get the girl? Are they going to get together? It's
real world stuff anyone can relate to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. I remember, Kevin Costner when he did Field of Dreams and Bull Durham, and he did them in the same back to back pretty much, and everybody said you can't do 2 baseball movies, together, and he goes, neither one of them are about baseball.
Ooh.
And so it's like,
okay.
You go, it's not a show about werewolves. It's a show about kids who have these extraordinary things. They're just a little different.
Very fair.
Yeah, it's about
Same
people. It's about
responsibilities.
relationships. It's about people. It's about situations. It's about growing up, and it's going through the same things that we all went through growing up. And so it's totally relatable.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I like what Melissa says in the end to him, saying that, don't shoulda all over yourself, that you have the power and you actually care to fix these things. So it was just really sweet, that whole mother-son
I love that.
story.
I ship that girl a little bit too.
With you? Put her in the ship with you?
I would put Melissa in the ship with me.
You guys are like the best parents of the show. We have to put you guys together. But you do get
Malinsky.
slapped later on in the season by Melissa, so not sure what
Maybe
you did.
that's foreplay.
Oh my gosh! Well, fans really want to see you two get together. That was one of the big questions.
I love
in my
Melissa.
Yeah.
I love, Ponzio's amazing.
Oh.
Well, now we have
great.
another creature for you to worry about. The scorpion, half werewolf.
Yeah,
one.
like we needed a new creature.
Well, let's go ahead and get into an interview with you.
Oh. What have we been doing?
Just talking about Teen Wolf, but now we want to talk about Linden Ashby.
Okay.
What party?
What party?
What party?
So, what specifically from your childhood would you say contributed to you choosing to be an actor?
Boy, that's.
Were you making films as a kid?
No.
Were you in plays? Not at all.
No. I think it's that thing.
I actually saw that you went to college in Durango.
I did.
That's where my mom grew up.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh, small
definitely.
world.
Yeah, it was a small.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing a little.
How was your mom?
Yeah, she's getting married next month. So
Right on.
You said how old?
Yeah, he's avoiding the.
I'm avoiding that question.
Well, do you know how old I am?
Old enough to kick some ass still, I tell you what.
No, I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, I think anyone can go on the internet and see.
Sure.
I'm 55, so
No kidding.
is your mom in that ballpark, young girl?
She's younger than that.
Okay.
She's younger than that. Yeah, definitely. And she actually what she did she was junior Miss Durango around I think around the time that you were going to college there too.
I went to Durango in 1978.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that's such a small
Were
world.
you gonna do something else? What was your career choice at
No,
that point?
I was I went to college and majored in business and psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And then started doing plays in Durango, actually, and that's really where it's the most unlikely school in the world to have found this theater department, but this guy John Calhoun was there, and Ken Bordner, and they were teaching, and I started doing plays and loved it, and sort of just found this thing that I thought I was pretty good at, and then I dropped out of college after 3 years, and I went to New York and studied at a place called the Neighborhood Playhouse with a guy named Sandy Meisner. Everyone talks about the Meisner technique, and I studied with Sandy, and I was thinking as a kid, I don't know what would have made me want to be an actor. It's probably a lot of things and stuff that I probably don't want to really talk about right now. But I mean, what drives any of us to do anything? It's complex, and it's a lot of different things.
And then you've accomplished so much in your acting career.
Well,
Yeah.
I paid the bills
You've accomplished so
for
much.
a lot of years.
Yeah. I wanted to know, is there something that you feel like you haven't accomplished yet that you would want to accomplish?
Yeah, you always I want that great, that that great part, that great script, that and then I'm sure if I got it, I'd want another one. There's nothing, I just want to do that something amazing. Yeah.
In theater and movies, TV,
whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't.
And I tell you something, with Teen Wolf, it's like it's not. I don't consider it my show. I consider it. It's partly mine. But there's so many moving parts, like there are in anything. But it's a really good show.
Yeah.
This is one that that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
And which is really cool.
What's one of your best memories on set?
On Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
I can't tell you that.
Yes.
I did. And I'm not going to talk about it. But it was a good one. It was I don't know.
Anything funny happen with the Stiles?
Yes.
Dylan O'Brien?
Yes.
Does he prank you?
No, but
Did he send you a Father's Day card?
Him and Posey being him and Posey. Tyler and Dylan. Those are my favorite moments. It's just they're hilarious when they're not even trying to be.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I had one. I was gonna. You've done so much. You've done drama and a lot of action and some horror. And I just wanted to know what's your favorite genre? To work in. If you had to pick, one that's super fun.
I don't have a favorite genre really. I think the older I've gotten and the longer I've done this, the more I know that it all is about script. It begins, and look, you can fuck up a good movie or a good script, but you cannot make a great movie out of a bad script. You just can't.
Yeah.
And it's every time you do something. First of all, I think anytime you get something done, it's a miracle. So many moving parts have to come together. It's like, and then you do that, and you actually make something that's good. It's like it's lightning in a bottle. I mean, it's just it doesn't happen that often. And there are there are people on this show that I've talked to them. They want to leave. They want to, and I think that's always an amazing thing about Jeff, is that when somebody wants to go, he goes, if they don't want to be here, I don't want them to be here. Doesn't care about contracts, doesn't care about anything. If they don't want to do it, he lets them go and do what they want to do. And I grab them and I'm just like, you don't get it. I've done this. This is my fifth series probably. And you don't get great ones very often. It doesn't happen. We can't all be Courtney Thorne-Smith, which I had to remember Courtney's name. It's like she went from Melrose Place to Ally McBeal to Life According to Jim or whatever. She had 20 years of hit TV shows. It doesn't happen like that very often. It's like you go, you get on these shows and it's this thing that works. And like on Teen Wolf, it's amazing because it's a family and we all really like each other, and that doesn't happen very often. You can work with. Look, there are a lot. The assholes make press. They're fun to talk about. But there are a lot more good people around that no one talks about.
Yeah.
But boy, all it takes is one of those guys to be an idiot, and it can make your day really, really, really long.
I wanted to know, on a personal level, what is something that people would be shocked to know about you? Do you have quirks? Were you the weird kid in high school? Is there something?
I was. What would I eat the same thing for breakfast every day.
Which was?
I eat toast with almond butter and jelly.
Oh, that sounds great.
And then, well, that's not true. I do, and I go toast with almond butter and jelly one day, granola the next day, toast with almond butter and jelly. So I go back and forth. I never eat anything else.
Pretty much.
And I was a late bloomer. I didn't grow till I was in probably 10th or 11th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, that was weird.
It takes guys longer. It
did.
Yeah.
But it was like all my buddies were like growing, and I was like,
What's going on?
Hey, what about me?
Well, we are unfortunately out of time.
Oh, well, that's going to be the final thing I talk about?
No.
Okay.
One more. Give one more.
Can we know
Yes.
if you were going to
Yes.
play any future role? Do you want to be a rock star? Do you want to play a baseball player?
I'd rather be a rock star than a baseball player.
I can see it.
Is that a role that you want?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Do you have any other projects?
I
follow
did,
you
and
on?
I didn't. I just didn't do
Right,
something for personal reasons.
Sure,
and so right now, no, not so much. I've got a movie that I'm waiting to see how it turns out called Beta Test, and we shot it up in Seattle. And, so we'll see what goes on with that.
Well, where can the fans keep up with you? What's your Twitter?
Linden Ashby.
At
Twitter.
Linden Ashby.
At Linden
.com.
Ashby.
At
Keep it
Linden
simple.
Ashby.
Well, we'll definitely be keeping up with you for sure.
Absolutely.
I
follow
had
you.
a great time. Thank
Yes,
you for having me.
Thank you for coming, honestly.
And you guys can keep up with AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV. Make sure you follow us, download, rate, subscribe. You can follow me at Cinematic Escape. I am looking forward to the Pat going to Eichenhaus next week to talk to Dr. Valak.
Oh my gosh. You guys
Yes.
can keep in touch with me at Teznos on Twitter and Instagram. Use the hashtag ABTV Teen Wolf and let me know your prediction since we didn't have time to do that now. My prediction is something bad's going to happen to Stiles, obviously.
You guys can find me at Brittany Baldassari on all social media, and I cannot wait to find out what happens to Stiles. It's kind of creepy.
Oh,
Hopefully
man.
he's safe, though.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks again. I'm Ryan Malaty. You can follow me at Ryan Malaty and all your favorite social media platforms. And be sure to throw some comments up on YouTube. We love to see what you have to say, and we'll be replying back.
As one quick prediction, I just wanted to say that Jeff said that all 3 flashbacks that we see, Lydia that sees, like Stiles in the car wreck, like all those are going to happen. And
I know it!
I know they do, and I've got some predictions I can give you.
please.
I can tell you what Parrish is. I can tell you what my first name is. I can tell you Stiles' name. I can tell you
What?
what.
Stiles' name?
Those are just predictions.
Thanks so much for joining us, Linden.
We'll see you.
I actually don't know Stiles' name.
Oh.
Yes, you do.
All right, guys at home, you can join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
later.
See you
Bye.
next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.